Welcome back, everybody. Today's video is going to be another training and working out video, and today this video is sponsored by Freedom Strength. I've been using their sandbags. Actually, in the previous videos, you've probably seen me use them. I've been using them for a while, and they're sponsoring the video today, so thank you, Freedom Strength, for sponsoring the video. And we'll have a code somewhere on the screen or down below to get your first order for a % off. Other than that, they sent me a bunch of sandbags, more sandbags to use for today's training, since I definitely needed some more. But the thing is, when you get sandbags, the hardest, most expensive part is you got to go to Home Depot or Menards and buy sand to fill it up. But not me. No. There's a local sand plant down the road from me. I know sand plant sounds weird. Local sand plant down the road from me that has the sign that allows you to come get one load of free sand per week. So, about once every month, I come out here and fill up one load of all my sandbags. We've got 150s, 100s, 200s, 300s. We left the 325 at the house. We don't need to fill that one up anymore. We're gonna fill these suckers up. The easiest way to fill them up is to use cups. So I brought some cups from X Endurance. They're they're great for supplementation, but also for filling up sandbags with sand. And Brian, what Brian doesn't know is he's in for our first workout of the day of filling up there's probably 1,200 pounds of sand we're gonna fill up in the next hour. So he's gonna get a good workout in. My back hurts. So we use, we'll talk about some previous videos, but I am a firm believer in a lot of use sandbags because they carry over more. In my mind, they're more applicable to things you see in real life. Barbells, like I've mentioned, are great for learning great power, good positional work, great stuff. It's still good, but like you never see a barbell in real life. Things, again, you probably don't see them in terms of a sandbag either, but I feel like sandbags represent things you see in life a little bit closer than barbell. So, great for strength. Also, it's what we use a lot for strength in the tackle game sport. But then you've also seen it for the CrossFit games, right? So, they did a max sandbag to shoulder at the 2022? Why are you whispering? You like you're not there? We know you're there. Yeah. Someone's holding that camera up. It was at the 2022 CrossFit Games. So you see it more and more in sports, right? I think people are realizing that, like, hey, this is a good measurement of power and a good test of fitness. So we use them all the time. Now we're gonna use these bags. Doing some longer watt bike work or watt work on a bike erg. I usually do this 4 times a week. I'm a big fan of using watt work on a bike erg. I think it's a solid way to get your zone 2 in. I mean, it's not always zone 2, but it's a good opportunity to get some long durations done. And I feel like when you work inside those longer domains, helps your fitness level out quite a bit, your base level. So today we're doing 3 sets of 3 minutes at 85% of your FTP score, then 2 minutes at 95%, then 1 minute at 105, 106%, and then back down 2 minutes at 95 and 3 minutes at 85. With the 2 minute easy spin in between. So good way of work. Like the 3 minutes and 2 minutes in the beginning is pretty easy, and the 1 minute's not bad, but then coming back down, the 2 minutes and 3 minutes at the end is pretty difficult to keep. So got 3 sets of that, and then we'll jump into some sandbag work. All right, so we got done with ourselves with a watt workout on the bike, and now we're gonna jump into some sandbag workouts. So today on the docket, we have ourselves 2 sets for time. I know it's gonna kind of weird you out because you're thinking, Most of the time we see like 4 to 5 sets when I do a lot of programming. Reason for this being is it's gonna be pretty difficult, and I kind of wanna have the intensity pushed a little bit. So we're kind of valuing intensity over volume for this kind of piece today. So we've got ourselves 20 sandbag thrusters at 100 or 75 pounds, or whatever you have available, right? Into a 600-meter run with the sandbag. So just put it on your back, run with that sucker. And then when you get back, you'll finish up with 20 more sandbag thrusters. And then we're gonna rest 5 minutes between the sets. Now, looking at this piece, it's a longer rest, if you notice that also. Again, I'm valuing intensity of the piece over the actual amount of volume presented, even though it is typically 40 thrusters per set, right? Timing-wise, what I'm looking for, my 600 meters sucks on my property. Essentially, it's up and down a bunch of gravel hills all the way up to my house, which you'll see. So a 600-meter run with a 100-pound sandbag is probably gonna take me 4 minutes or more. I've actually never tested it, so I'm kind of guessing. So when I look at this workout, I'm thinking around approximately 6 minutes per set, per round is what I'm kind of looking for. One thing to note, when you watch me do thrusters, there's kind of a couple different ways to do sandbag thrusters. You see some competitions will have them on the side and they'll stand up and kind of go over. That's what you kind of see for like a team variation of sandbag, especially when it comes to a worm where you're not really having to lock out because you're sharing the load with another partner, although you do have to reach hip crease below the knee, of course. For today, when I do individual work with sandbags, I usually put it in the front rack, and then I essentially do a full thruster. The only difference is the sandbag won't be on top of my fists on the top. It'll essentially hang down inside my front rack. So you kind of see a little difference of variation there for the thruster. But anyways, this is today's piece. Let's knock it out. Okay. On paper, it didn't look that bad. In execution, it was pretty bad. So, well, first one went 5:20, rest of 5 minutes. Second one went 5:11. Just pick up the pace in the run. I think the run took me about 30 seconds less than I thought it would. That doesn't mean I'm fitter than I think. It just means I thought the hill was steeper than it was, or something like that, whatever the case may be. So went faster than unexpected. That's great, solid workout. We're now done with that. We're gonna move on to some strength piece for sandbags. So we've got 5 to 6 sets with 90 seconds of rest in between. The 90 seconds of rest is meant to really showcase in my sport when we compete. We have about 90 seconds on average that we're usually shooting. So that's about essentially kind of tends to mock up like the amount of time I'd be on the firing line taking accurate shots, hopefully on target. So 5 to 6 sets, we're doing 2 sandbag cleans. So from the ground to our shoulder, 2 of them immediately into a 50-foot stress carry. We're just gonna go down the barn. Then we're gonna do immediately into 2 sandbag cleans again. And then we're gonna carry it back to where we started, and we're gonna do 1 clean over high yoke. The goal for this is to hopefully not drop the sandbag. We're gonna do this at 200 pounds. If you're looking at this and you're thinking, I probably would have to drop it quite a few times, that's okay, go less, right? Go 150 pounds for a male, or for a female, instead of a 150, maybe use a 100. Doesn't matter, but the whole goal is that you can do the whole thing unbroken, and the only time the sandbag touches the ground is when you're going back down to tap the ground for the sandbag clean. But it shouldn't be resting on the ground for an extended period of time. The other main goal for me here is I'm shorter, so I have to be able to carry a sandbag and use it for a little bit of time and then get it over something that's abnormally higher than normal. Abnormally higher than normal, you know what I mean? So that's why we're gonna have 1 final sandbag clean over a high yoke, because I usually carry the sandbag vertically oriented. And now trying to get it over a higher yoke means I have to get up really, really high and really explode with it. So we're trying to work on that explosion at the very end of a strength piece. So that's it. Pre-workout statement that 90 seconds goes by pretty fast. If you work with enough sandbags, they give you hickeys. Can you see my hickey yet? Is it red? It kissed me. One thing we didn't cover was height of the yoke. I set mine at 58 inches high Reason being, we actually did like a variation of this workout as a stage in Idaho this past year where we had to do sandbag stress carry. It was like 30 yards, so it was longer than this. Sandbag stress carry into sandbag over a high yoke. But what I fell into as a trap was a lot of the guys who were taller, it's not an excuse, but they were taller and I just couldn't get done very easily, was they would stress carry at 30 yards out, 30 yards or 30 yards total. They'd get to the sandbag and they could actually go right over the yoke without having to drop it. Whereas because I was carrying it in a stress carry position where it was vertically oriented, I couldn't get the sandbag up on top of the yoke. I couldn't get the bottom of the bag on the yoke. And so hence why I practice it a lot, because if it shows up again, I don't want to suck at it. So there's your reasoning why. All right, we did our sandbag. I got messed up. I hurt right now. My shower tonight is gonna be painful, but we're gonna do some lifting now, some strength lifting. Obviously, as we get closer to the end of the season, we do less and less lifting, to be honest, because in my sport, or in this sport, strength isn't like super important. And I will say, if you have to work strength, you're mainly working posterior chain, lower body strength. Upper body strength isn't really important. Someone could argue otherwise, but anyways. So we've got, we probably should have done this first, but we have some sandbag vertical tosses. It's kind of meant to be a primer. So we're essentially working on vertical explosion, get that sandbag overhead. It is a heavier sandbag, so laugh away when it doesn't go very high above my head. Just remember, I'm like 6'3", so it's really tall. So we're gonna do some 4x3 of that. We're gonna jump into some trap bar deadlifts. When I do deadlifts, if I was competing in CrossFit, I would touch and go these reps, but since I'm not competing in CrossFit, I do a lot of dead stop, meaning I'm going to do a lift, drop it to the ground, lower it to the ground, however, and then reset and restart again. So I'll essentially do 5 sets of 5 singles, if that makes sense, because for my sport, we don't touch and go reps. We don't do stuff like that. And then we're jumping into some fat bar clean and jerks. We're just kind of working up in weights. Slowly we'll do sets of 3s. These will not probably be touch and go. They'll probably be quick singles as we work up. We'll get some reverse hypers, posterior chain, baby. And then we're gonna finish up with some weighted planks. And then we've got lunch and then back to the range. Before you judge me, like a dorky 8-year-old kid, they're really loud when you drop these things and it hurts my ears. So I don't care what you think. I wear earphones when I do trap bar deadlift. One thing to note, you notice we do a lot of posterior chain work. So we did trap bar deadlifts, you know, some reverse hypers. You probably see a lot of posterior chain work. Posterior chain meaning back, right? So we're talking glutes, hamstring, calves, back, anything essentially behind post, right? And the reason is because the sport I'm in, we don't really have a whole lot of upper body usages in a lot of things. We pick up a lot of sandbags. We pick up a lot of things off the ground. So having a strong posterior chain is, I mean, beneficial in life in general, but also directly applicable to the sport. So now we're gonna get some lunch. All right, lunchtime. We've got ourselves rice with some trifecta ground turkey that was sauteed with some Chipotle seasoning, and then good old-fashioned Chick-fil-A sauce.
Say hi. Are we gonna smile for me? Come here, Andy Carroll. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi.
All right, welcome back from lunch. We are at the range, the cool part of the, well, we're actually in the gym, but we're gonna be on the range for the rest of the session. We've got a couple different stages we're gonna run today. We're gonna talk about each one, goals, what we're trying to accomplish, and then we're gonna go do it. So today we've got, to start off, we got 4 sets of 1 minute max calorie biker. We're trying to spike the heart rate pretty good here. And then we're gonna do right into 1 minute of max sandbag box step over. So we're gonna use a 100-pound bag, the longer bag with the handles from Freedom Strength. We're gonna do 1 minute of max sandbag box step overs with that. Then we're gonna drop the bag, and then we're gonna have 1 minute to shoot 10 rifle shots at 65 yards on some really small triangles. These are not to scale, but they're kind of like this, okay? We'll show you when we actually do it. So at 65 yards, and we're gonna shoot it from a tank trap. So it'll be from a supported position. Essentially, we have 1 minute to shoot those shots. So you'll probably see me rest for a couple seconds, take a deep breath after the box step overs, and then get into it. It probably won't take me a whole minute to shoot those shots, and I know that. I'll find a good stable position. Then we're gonna rest 2 minutes before we start the next set. We're gonna do 4 total sets of that. So what's the goal when you look at a workout like this? Number one, how hard do you wanna go on the bike erg? I know for a fact I can probably easily get 30 cals every single time without fail. The problem is, do I want to go harder? Like that would be what I would consider like 95%. Do I want to go harder and get more? Do I want to stick at 30 and try to like, you know, tease it out and keep going? That's kind of the question. Box step overs, I don't actually know how many to shoot for. I'll probably shoot for it the first round and try to keep that, sustain that throughout the rest of the workout. And then for the rifle shots, right, we have 10 total. So we're looking at 10 total in each of the squares or the triangles we have. I would like to shoot 80% plus. What that means is, for you math guys, we're looking for 8 out of 10 shots is what we're going for. So I can drop 2 each round is all I can do. So that's the goal for this workout.
Dude, that neck is looking right.
I need to get some makeup and cover it up. It's gonna hurt tonight in the shower. I'm gonna go back in the house. My wife's. The funny thing is, like, most people will be like, "Oh, you know, what did you do? What did you do? Are you okay?" I don't think my wife has ever asked me that. She's like, "You do it to yourself. You're fine. You're okay." So
no complaining.
Yeah, I'll just cry in the shower. You won't tell though. You can't tell. Took me 55 seconds to shoot. I dropped 1. Got 32, I think 16 to 17, I don't remember. 21, 18. I dropped one. Okay, shooting 65 yards. We switched sides of the tank trap between the rightmost upright and the leftmost. We went right, left, 10 rounds each. All right, round one, we dropped 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yep. Round 2, we dropped 2. Round 3, we dropped 1, barely. And then round 4, we dropped 1. I felt really good in this grouping. So we dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's above 80%. So we shot 34 out of 40. You do the math. I get it. All right, last one of the day. We got a fun one. We're gonna be doing, you've probably never seen sandbags used in this way, so this is gonna be cool. We're gonna be using a wheelbarrow. Now, it's not your prototypical wheelbarrow that you go get at Home Depot and you use your mom and dad to move sand. Essentially, I have a Rogue sled that can be converted into a wheelbarrow using a conversion kit. We actually use wheelbarrows in the tactical games, very similar to this, not the same brand, but a similar concept. And we actually, instead of sometimes using plates in the wheelbarrow, which is what you normally see, we're actually gonna use sandbags. Now, the last time I competed in CrossFit, we did sandbags in a wheelbarrow. We actually did it at the 2015 or 2014 CrossFit Games. We took sand across whatever that venue is called, I can't remember, in California. So, cool event, go back and watch it. Okay, today though, we are gonna be doing a similar concept. We have 3 sandbags we're gonna be using. We're gonna be using a 200, a 150, and a 50-pound sandbag from Freedom Strength. We are essentially going to load the wheelbarrow. The sandbags will start on the other side of a yoke at 52 inches. On the call of go, we're gonna put all 3 sandbags over the yoke, then go under the yoke, and then load all 3 sandbags on the wheelbarrow. Then we're gonna take that wheelbarrow on a route. It'll be about 100 yards total, 50 yards out, approximately 50 yards back. And then we're gonna unload the wheelbarrow and then put the sandbags back over the yoke. And then we'll go under the yoke and we'll shoot 10 pistol shots at 15 yards, and we'll show you the target when we're shooting. And then that's 1 round, and we're gonna do 3 total rounds of that. So you're looking at a total of 30 pistol shots and 300 yards of sandbag wheelbarrow carry. The wheelbarrow sucks. I know it's gonna look stupid. It's a crap ton of grip, because most of the time when you're using a regular wheelbarrow, you're not taking it very far, and it's usually not super heavy. This is gonna be heavy, this is gonna blow. Also, one thing to note is how you lower your sandbag is important. Most people don't think about it, and so it's kind of a gamesmanship to it. So anyways, that's the workout. Let's get into it. That looked pretty bad, because maybe I made that seem really bad. That was awful. Probably the worst one of the day. Okay, finished in 12 flat at 12:01. Still got tired. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my nose really hurts. Insert clip of me just, there was a hole and my tire was stuck in it, or my, barbell or plate, whatever. I finally got over the hole, and it was like too much exertion. I just slipped and face planted the sandbag. All right, target wise, we got rounds 1, 2, and 3. On round 1, we dropped 2. I don't even want to talk about this one. I was actually trying to shoot the staple, aim small, miss small, but I missed the staple. Anyways, 2 drop shots there. Round 2, I dropped 1 shot. And then on round 3, I dropped, technically, you could argue this is 2. That's touching, so I dropped 1. So drop 1, 2, 3, 4 shots. That was terrible. We're gonna have Brian go now. So we're gonna pass me the camera, and you're gonna see Brian get to eat crap.
Yeah, that workout sucked. But yeah, it's a wrap.
All right, done for the day for shooting the barn.
Yeah.
Back to the house for dinner. Meanwhile, this is what I come home to. My little pumpkin Andy, my little pumpkin Burke.
This is really cute.
Their hair is moss, their ears are leather, and their arms come off for convenience when going down holes. They have long tails and smoke cigars and are apt to be wild. Wow. This story is about one of Corkyville's leading families, the Big B Browns, and about the Corkyville Fair, which next to Christmas is the most exciting event of the year. The Browns instead of horses. On Fair Day, there is a rivalry between the Browns and the Tomcat family. All right, closing out the night. What do we have for dinner?
Making sloppy joes.
Sloppy joes. We got trifecta, ground beef.
It's like homemade sloppy joes. Just
Homemade
to,
sloppy joes?
I'm not that I'm above manwich, but it's a little fancier than that.
Okay. We got trifecta ground beef, and then we've got
But this is totally box mac and cheese.
some box, which is totally fine.
But it's organic.
Yeah, it's also got the stamp of bunny rabbit approval. I don't know what that means, but.
And we're gonna make a salad. And we've got a sleeping baby.
I'm not sleeping yet.
Is she awake?
Yeah, she's awake.
Oh.
And that, ladies and gents, is all we have for today. Want to go a quick shout out. Thank you to Freedom Strength for sponsoring this video. Again, if you want to get a discount on some sandbags, they're down below. Highly recommended. They're great. I use them, so should you. Anyways, we'll catch you on the next video. See ya.